Hello and welcome to Theme Park Information. In today's show we're going to be discussing how to bypass, skip, avoid lines at theme parks. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content. And let's get in with a few tips, and I will be honest, I'm going to start off really obvious. And that is, you can obviously just buy a fast pass, flash pass, skip the line ticket, whatever it is called at the park you're visiting, which pretty much means you pay extra to bypass the lines. Obviously this is a brilliant suggestion and idea if you are planning to go to a park for the first time, which you've never been to, has lots of coasters. I've recently done this with Busch Gardens Tampa, because it's a park with 9 coasters or so, lots of really important ones, potentially could have been a really busy day. Perfect park for it. I've also done it at somewhere like Kings Island as well, where again, lots of rides. It was Memorial Day, so it was really busy. Perfect opportunity to spend that extra money, get the ability to go on all the rides. I appreciate a bit of a cop-out, but it does still work. The other ones I also paid for, but they're kind of a little bit different. Obviously, one of the things you could have is like a season pass or some sort of membership pass to the park or the company of parks, if you like. And that can include some things where you can get into the park early. I absolutely remember doing this for certain Merlin parks, like Alton Towers and such, where I've been able to get in early to the parks, half an hour before the rest of the guests are allowed in. And again, this could give you a great head start on hitting certain rides and attractions. The last if you like, paid for section would be actually staying in a hotel on site. Again, I'm just going to pick Alton Towers as an example. I before stayed at the Alton Towers Hotel, and they actually do have a Nemesis experience sort of thing, where you get to go into the park early, which also adds massively to the storyline, by the way. Really cool. And it just meant that I was able to get, I think, 7 or so rides on it before it opened up to effectively season pass members, and an hour before it opened up to the public. That could be an absolutely brilliant option, staying at the on-site park hotel, because usually your tickets are included. But as I say, they are the paid options. What if you want to do it for free? This is where it gets interesting. So, option number 1 for you is to have everything well planned out, arrive at the park in really good time, already have eaten so you're not getting food when you enter the park. Literally is a case of you're all sorted, you've got everything ready, and you're ready to go. The amount of times we arrived early at certain theme parks and it made a huge difference to that day cannot be understated. I remember Six Flags over Georgia being a prime example. Within the first hour and a half, me and my friends had managed to go on Goliath, Batman, Mindbender, loads of other coasters just within that time period. Such a golden hour or two is in the morning. The other option as well, it relates to that, is when you go. And that can include things like going on a really warm, hot day, because you'll find that a lot of people, even though they go to that park, they're going to the water park version, and the actual theme park version of it, or the dry park, is pretty quiet. This has happened at Six Flags Great Adventure. When I went there, loads of people queuing to go in. They all went to the water park, and the actual park itself was pretty quiet. You could go around pretty quickly. The other option you have with this is going where it's not necessarily wet and miserable, but when there's a potential for rain. Again, I've done this at Alton Towers, and it's been a case where it could have been raining all day, and it did eventually absolutely tip down, but it was after the park had closed. So yeah, that could also be a winning combination if you're willing to chance your arm on the weather. So we have potential planning for the weather, planning getting there early, getting your tickets, having food, pretty much being as ready as possible to just enter and go. The other thing which could really help for you to bypass queues is prioritising, or doing the park in an order which people would not necessarily expect. You tend, for example, to find that rides towards the front of the park gets queues quicker in the day, and then rides towards the back of the park are pretty quiet in the morning. So again, you could go to a park and go all the way to the back of the park. The other option is if a brand new major coaster has opened that year, you actually don't go straight there, you go to the other far away coasters and get those done. Could be a great way to get a good start to the day. So for example, when Thorpe Park opened their new coaster, you could find that things like the Swarm and Stealth and Nemesis Inferno are really quiet in the morning, and you're able to get on those first, and then you can try and go back to them later. Obviously, you will probably have to still queue for some things, but that's a good way of getting rides under your belt nice and early. The other option you have is a bit more of an awkward one, and that is you can prioritise rides to do at certain times of the day. Now this is a bit more specific and probably involves you knowing the park a little bit better, but for example, let's say you have some family rides, for instance, you probably do not want to go on those around lunchtime. Again, I'm just going to pick Alton Towers as an example. It's a park that I've been to quite a lot in my lifetime, so kind of know it quite well. Something like Spinball Wizard can be really busy up until like the final few hours the park's open, where it is simply walk on. And if you literally leave it to then, you'll probably get on it straight away. Whereas if you do it like around like lunchtime, you'll probably have like a 45-minute to an hour wait. So yeah, as I say, this one is a bit difficult. It probably would involve a bit more research and maybe talking to people who live near the park, who've been to the park a lot, or yeah, stuff like that, and they give you like a bit of a running order of like a sort of a vibe of the park and what's busy when. Which is a bit more of an awkward one, but still doable. The other sort of option open to you is again a bit more interesting, is single rider lines. They can be a great way of skipping queues. Obviously you could be very much separated from your party, but if you don't mind, if it has like an hour wait, which I have done at Park Asterix before, admittedly I was there by myself, so it was quite easy. Ride had a 45-minute wait, decided to go in the single rider line, got front row after about, I think it was like 10 minutes of waiting. Saved me no end of time, and it's something that I utilised quite a bit on that trip. So yeah, single ride lines can be extremely good. Obviously, does have a bit downside that you might not be sitting next to people, and obviously there's no set time for how long you will wait for that ride, because obviously it depends on how many people are in lines, what groups they're in, stuff like that. I believe that is most of the main ones. Obviously, if you do think of any yourselves, do comment below, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.